Welcome to the Mizzle Dub Show. Welcome to the Mizzle Dub Show. 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 Dub Show. Welcome to the Mizzle Dub Show.
Merry Christmas for some, and Happy New Year to others. Welcome to the late night edition of the Mizzle An Dub Show. He is Mizzle. I am Dub. And well, as I said in the beginning, it's Christmas time for a lot of us because today, or
not yet,
or
we're legal tampering.
Should I say? Well, March 13th is officially the start of the new league year, so it started technically yesterday on Commonwealth Day in Canada. So for those that are watching from Canada, hope you had a good Commonwealth Day. Anyhow,
official league year does not start until tomorrow, the 15th. That's where all the signings are official. We are in a legal tampering right now to where you can negotiate with a player. They can sign the offer sheet, or they can also change their mind by the time the 15th come around. So a lot has gone on today as my team has done something that has literally just peeved me off. But I'm gonna let my brother lead us in and tell us what the show is going to be about today. But stay tuned. There will be.
Well, for the most part, this show is pretty much dedicated to free agency of the start of the NFL season, or the league year, I should say. But mainly the key purpose of the show is to talk free agency, and we'll try to maintain the key signings, but we'll try to announce as much as we can. But he is correct. You can legally sign your contract at 4 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday the 15th, which is 1 p.m. Pacific time.
But we also know there's tampering going around all year long. So don't sit here and tell me that you just allowed this legal. That's why they're saying legal tampering, because there should be no tampering in the NFL, But didn't they take picks away from the Dolphins for doing that Tom Brady thing?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Stephen Ross did
tampering.
Yes, which happens in the NBA all the time, but that's here nor there. But
what do you think they do at the Pro Bowl?
Oh, all the time. That same thing with the All-Star
or the Combine. What do you think they're doing at the Combine? Tampering.
Yeah, a lot of tampering. So just go over quickly, because really it all started back on Thursday, March the 9th and March the 8th. We'll get right to it. Tyron Smith is going to come back to the Cowboys. Really? Shaquille Griffin was cut. Yes. Shaquille Griffin was cut by the Jaguars, which saved the Jaguars $13 million. The artist formerly known as Robbie Anderson was released by the Cardinals. That saved the Cardinals. Chosen Robbie Anderson.
Fuck out of here with that.
That's it.
I mean, I don't know what's worse, that or Dante Hittner. But that Hittner made sense because he was laying motherfuckers out. So that name fit him.
Ask Pierre Thomas about Dante Hittner Whitner, but that saves the Cardinals $12 million in cap space. Of course, the Commanders released Carson Wentz. The Patriots will bring back James Frentz. Of course, we'll talk about the whole Aaron Rodgers drama. Is he coming to East Rutherford, New Jersey? Is he not? That remains to be seen. We don't have to.
I mean, we will. I'm just saying. I'm saying that as in a.
We won't have to. We won't have to. What's the word I'm looking dissect into it.
Yes, but we will mention it.
But unfortunately, it cost the price as Braxton Berrios was released by the Jets to possibly
clear room for Aaron Rodgers.
To make room for Rodgers, which gave the Jets $5 million in cap space. The Jets traded for former Raven safety Chuck Clark
for peanuts.
He's now a Jet
for peanuts.
Yeah. The all-time great stories and an all-time great Viking, Adam Thielen, was released by the team, which is going to be weird seeing him in a different jersey.
Hey, let's just say that A-Rod just so happens to stay with the Packers. I can see Thielen being that receiver and being Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson all over again.
It would be a nice compliment to the young kid they got from North Dakota State. Yes, I would agree with that. That's a very good analogy.
Yeah, I can see him being the new Jordy Nelson, but I don't. But then again, we'll talk about that when we get to Rodgers. Continue, brother.
Right. Now, back to this whole tampering thing, as you mentioned. The Houston Texans were fined, and they took away draft picks for some tampering stuff. Actually, it's a salary cap violation in an era that dates back to the whole Deshaun Watson drama.
Yeah.
So the Texans lose picks in that. Brett Toth released from the Eagles. As just mentioned, former Raider Gabe Jackson got released by the Seahawks, and that's 4.7 in dead money, and that's $6.5 million cap space for the Seahawks. Former Steeler and now former Titan Bud Dupree is released. He can get to the quarterback. He is a very good pass rusher. He will definitely help the defense.
You say Bud Dupree is available?
Bud Dupree is available. Yes, sir.
On to Vegas, brother. That man's a tackling machine.
Yes, he
is. He can't cover the best tight ends in the world, but run game. But then again, if no, I would rather the Raiders resign Denzel Perryman instead of going to the Bud Dupree route because Denzel Perryman at least knows the defense per se.
Right. Of course, Odell Beckham is still working out for teams. He definitely wants
to play. I see him going to Dallas. I just see Jerry Jones all over that.
Saints are they re-signed special teamers JT Gray, 3-year extension. The Dolphins restructured Tyreek Hill's contract, which, in addition to that, Jalen Ramsey is a Miami Dolphin. He's back in the state of Florida.
Nuts.
Yes, but him on one side and Xavier Howard on the other side could be problems for the AFC East in South Beach. A heck of a job by Mike McDaniels to get him to come back to where he played his college ball in the state of Florida.
They did that so they can try to contend with Buffalo.
Correct.
But I'm also hearing that Gabe Davis might be on the trading block. Stupid, I understand, yes. But if you can get clout for him.
But that's a whole lot of catches and touchdowns that's leaving Josh Allen. Because that's, outside of Stephon Diggs, that's his other deep threat.
Well, I'm just saying that
deep threat.
You get rid of him, you're just making it life harder for Stephon Diggs. He made life.
I agree
for Diggs,
but also, of course, this is just the Georgia Bulldog in me. Isaiah McKenzie's a damn good player, and now he could be utilized more in that offense.
There's no argument for me right here on that, brother. That's absolutely fact right there. The kid can play football. He's a ball.
Yes, he can.
You know what I'm saying? He can. So if that's the route you're going to do, that means you're not kind of drop off for production per se, but imagine all three productions with Josh Allen. He needs every weapon that he needs.
I get it. I get it.
It comes down to
the Eagles. Oh, yes, as it always does. And that's the unfortunate thing about the NFL is because of the salary cap, you can't keep everybody together, which,
Well, unless you are the Inglewood Rams, and now you see what they're going through right now. They're in cap purgatory. They have no picks. They're trying to fire sale everybody. And let me tell you this right now, before we get back on subject. If they put 9-9 on the trading block,
oh boy,
you could have what the Rams used to say, fuck them picks. You can have all. Aaron Donald is a one-man wrecking crew. You put him in the middle next to Max Crosby, and if Chandler Jones can produce what he did at the end of the season, I don't give a damn who's back there playing safety and cornerback. Those three are going to wreak havoc and just making life easy.
Ask Garoppolo about number 99 in the NFC Championship game 2 years ago.
Please do not mention that fucking name right now to me.
He single-handedly caused my team not being in Super Bowl 56.
And he single-handedly cost you a Super Bowl.
So, well, him and 3rd and 15, but, I digress.
Well,
the the dissection of the NFC champions continues, even though they do re-sign Brandon Graham. But could Big Play Slay, Darius Slay, be on the move somewhere else as he is perhaps on the trading block?
Hey, if we're not drafting a quarterback in the first round, fuck that pick. Send it to Philly. Bring Big Play to Las Vegas. I'm serious. Will he garner a first round? I'm thinking maybe he's a 2 or 3.
He is still capable of playing. There's no question about that.
Jalen Ramsey went for a 3 and a 7.
But to be honest, Jalen Ramsey has not been that guy since Jacksonville, and you and I both know this.
Well, but he still is capable. He's capable.
He wants when he wants to get his head out of his ass, he can still show why.
You know how teams put him out there. Hey. He had a down year, but think about the previous years that he had. If he gets a new scenery, he could be that player that he has.
Hey.
I was just saying this. Big Play Slay is damn near worth a 1 or a 2.
Agree.
I mean,
but of course,
I wouldn't give up my 1 this year.
But of course, I know you speak of that because he is a former Florida State Seminole. So I get it.
You always know I go hard for my Seminoles, man.
I know this. Just like I go hard for my Bulldogs. The Cowboys have reconstructed Dak Prescott's contract and Zach Martin, and that created $30
million for them.
$30 million in cap space. Yes, it is. Hence why I said they are interested in possibly bringing in Bobby Wagner. Right now, for Bobby Wagner, it's between the Seahawks, a reunion, or possibly the Cowboys.
Well, isn't Quinn in Dallas?
Mighty Quinn, yes. No, Quinn. Oh, the DC. Yes, he is.
Yes. And
I thought he was talking about
Wagner and Quinn have ties.
Yes, they do.
He will end up in Dallas.
They do. Wouldn't surprise me. The Jets are making James Robinson free agent. Of course, Robinson started the year with the Jaguars, got traded to the Jets, but now he's free agent. He's a solid running back. He really is.
Solid, yeah.
Titans released Ben Jones, but he ended up signing with the Chicago Bears. We'll talk about the Bears and the moves they made as the show goes on. Of course, we just talked about Leonard Floyd being released by the Rams. The Dolphins picked up to his 5th-year option.
I like it.
The Packers have restricted left tackle David Bakhtiari's contract. Patriots Devin McCourty has announced his retirement. Played all 13 years.
Hell of a career.
Damn good career. Played all 13 years of the Patriots. Won 3 rings. He definitely will have his jersey retired. Should have it in Foxborough anyway.
He'll be in the hall.
Vega's contract was reconstructed by the Buccaneers by about $9 million. Cameron Dantzler Sr. got waived by the Vikings. Panthers released linebacker Damian Wilson. That saves $3.5 million in the cap space. Chase Edmonds got released by the Broncos. Denver also released Ronald Darby, the cornerback.
Whoa.
And Grant. Yes, Ronald Darby is available. Yes, he is.
That was under the radar. I didn't even know that happened. Solid.
Ronald Darby got released.
But the thing is, I will say this: if this is just speaking on my franchise, the only thing with that is because he plays. Is he a nickel or is he a starting corner? I think he's nickel.
Corner. I don't know. Well, but
I think he's a nickel. What I'm just saying is, here's what no, never mind. Okay, continue. I'll get into my organization later.
Graham Glasgow also got released, the guard. The Commanders announced they signing Drew Himmelin. He was cut and came back. Steelers released William Jackson, the 3rd quarterback, and the defensive back Carlene Splattle. Jake Bailey, the punter, released by the Patriots. Of course, one of the big news of legal tampering was the Bears trading their number 1 pick to the Panthers. So the Bears trade the number 1 pick, but they receive wide receiver DJ Moore. So now Justin Fields
Justin Fields another weapon would go along with
Chase so Justin Fields now has DJ Moore, Mooney, and Chase Claypool to throw to. And if they just decide to get a running back, and because they already added Ben Jones to their offensive line, as we just talked about earlier,
solid pickup,
and the Bears trying to make some moves.
Hey, but you know what though? We said this the moment they hired that general manager. We said that man was going to come in here and build the monsters of the Midway again. And you can see the construction of what he's doing. I mean, wow. And to tell you the truth, the Panthers gave up too much.
Here's what they gave up.
The Panthers gave up too much.
So the Panthers,
they better hit.
So the Panthers, originally they were picked number 9 in the draft. So now that goes to the Bears.
They jumped up 8 fucking spots.
Also get the number 61st overall pick of the draft this year. A 2024 first round pick.
Too much.
A 2025 second round pick.
That equals out. That's fine.
So now that all leads to them possibly taking CJ Stroud from Ohio State as the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
Not so fast, my friend. I'm also here.
Oh, wait a minute.
This is what I love about how we get our information, and we combine it to this show. This is what brings the Mizzle An Dub Show, because me and him are naturally, I would say, 9.5 out of 10, always on point. You will rarely see us differ or say anything or I disagree with him. Well, when it comes to the Niners, that's all day, every day. That's probably the 0.5. But anyway, there's rumors going around is they feel like Richardson could be their quarterback. They're having that Cam Newton kind of feeling with him all over again. So they're not saying CJ Stroud is not 100%, which I think he should, but Frank Wright think he can coach Richardson. Now, I'll say this. Frank Wright's a hell of a coach. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Yes, he is.
Man played in the NFL. He knows what to do. He has one of the greatest comebacks in football history as a Buffalo Bill.
Well, one of the 2 losses that pretty much, in a sense, killed the Houston Oilers franchise, and they eventually moved to Tennessee. It was that loss, and then Joe Montana breaking their hearts as a Chief. That literally, in a sense, killed the Houston. And the 92 Oilers and the 93 Oilers were some very damn good football teams.
Warren Moon
led by Warren Moon
was lethal. And let me just tell you something about Warren Moon before we get back on the subject. Look up Warren Moon on YouTube. And I'm going to tell you what, Warren Moon didn't move in that pocket. He rarely moved. That man stood tall and he delivered the ball. And I'm telling you this right now, I've never seen somebody throw more of a beautiful pass besides Dan Marino, Joe Montana, you know what I'm saying, and Kenny the Snake Stabler. So, pearls. But Warren Moon and Randall Cunningham, because Randall Cunningham can throw a hell of a deep ball. But Warren Moon can throw every ball that you ask him to throw in the playbook. Comeback routes, easy. Slant routes, easy. Fades, easy. Go routes, easy. Screen passes, brother, I do that in my sleep. Warren Moon was a typical quarterback who did not get his first start in the NFL. Matter of fact, he started
CFL.
Where did he start?
In the CFL. He
was boy one time.
He was an Edmonton Eskimo, which are now the Edmonton Elks, but he was an Edmonton Eskimo in the CFL. Won a Grey Cup.
Told him, you're not good for the NFL. You're not good for the NFL. Oh, I'm not.
A couple of Rose Bowls as a Washington Husky in college.
And still told him he wasn't good enough for the NFL.
He didn't get to the Oilers until about 1984. Okay. So it was a struggle. But once Jerry Glanville got there, Warren Moon eventually became the Hall of Fame. He became. People forget, the old Astrodome used to be called the House of Pain because teams hardly would go into that stadium and win.
We dropping too much.
That's how tough it.
We're dropping too much knowledge on our followers right now. Let's get back on pace right now. They're probably looking at here like, ain't you guys supposed to be talking about the tampering?
Which we are. Okay, so Robert Woods stays in the AFC South. He goes from the Titans to the Houston Texans.
Good pickup. He's a nice little. He's a sneaky receiver, but that's a good pickup.
So, also, former Jets quarterback Mike White, he's now backing up Tua in Miami. He now signs with the Dolphins for a 2-year deal. As we know, Derek Carr's New Orleans Saints. He had his press conference today. we're just informing the fans. I know you don't give two
Hey,
fucks.
hold on,
I
wait.
get it.
Can I say one thing from Derek Carr?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Derek Carr's presser. This is the funniest thing that any quarterback or anybody who's now. What do fans want, my brother? What do we want as a fan? As for our teams, what do we want?
To win, because obviously the ultimate goal is Lombardi. That's the only goal.
Your boy,
but you also want transparency from players.
Well, your boy Derek Carr in his press conference said, I can't guarantee you, I can't promise you wins. Wait a minute, why are you here? He literally said, I can't promise you wins.
Hold that thought. Because now there's some that. Okay.
Something in that range. He said something about promising wins and something like that. I'm like, whoa. That's not something you're supposed to say in a press conference. You're supposed to come here and say, honestly, as much as I didn't like it, when LeBron did it, when he went to Miami, talking about,
yeah,
but that's what you're supposed to say. You're supposed to deliver. You ain't supposed to get up on a press conference.
It's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. Play to win the game.
Hello. Facts.
About sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. Start telling me it doesn't matter. Then retire. Get out.
That's one of the greatest pressers. And next to your coach.
Can't do it.
Mr. Singletary. Next to the greatest legend, Denny Green.
They are who we thought they were.
In paradise. And
of course. And then of course. Well, actually, there's two by Jim Mora. There's that one, and then there's we didn't do squat, plu. We play like shit in the second half.
Yeah, you know what? But you know who's the greatest soundbite? And I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get back on point. You know who's the greatest soundbite ever for the NFL? He came up with the slogan NFL, not for long. Jerry Glanville.
This is NFL, which stands for not for long.
You keep making calls like that. Glanville is the greatest.
I'll be back in groceries.
Glanville is the greatest soundbite in football. Bill Parcells ranks up there too, because if you want to hear some, but see, there was too much bleeping with Parcells. Glanville gave you gold, just gold. We've been watching too much football, bro. We see, that's what happens when you're born in the 80s. I don't think the fans heard that. I didn't hear it.
Oh, let me do one more time.
No, all I hear is whatever you introduce, and it just goes dead. What soundbite are you using?
But back to what you're saying. I mean, yes, the soundbite is that is Jerry Glanville. He was definitely the gift that kept on giving.
Yes.
Actually, but there's one more soundbite we forgot. The late great Sam Weich. Oh. If you see anybody throwing trash on the field, pick it up and remind them that you don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati.
Talk about a dig on the city.
He grabbed a microphone from the PA during the game and stopped the game.
Talk about a drag on a what my boy Kelso said in that 70s show, burn. Okay, let's get back to the topic on here.
All right. So, possibly Patriots wide receiver Jacoby Myers might be available in the trade. That remains to be
Is
seen.
that
We'll
the
keep
one
you
that threw the
posted on
touchdown to
that.
Chandler Jones?
That would be that one. Yes. Yes.
Nobody
Try to
wants
throw it
him.
back to Mac Jones. Yes.
Nobody wants
All
him.
right. The Bills extend linebacker Matt Milano with a 2-year deal. Solid player. The Saints not to expect the tender to Marquez Callaway, the wide receiver, which means he might possibly be a free agent. Here's a shocker. Sterling Shepard is back with the Giants for 1 year. I know he has dealt with injuries, but supposedly, and this is by according to Jeremy Fowler for ESPN, Shepard has been a fantastic cheerleader and a fantastic guy in the locker room.
By the way,
One of the
Jeremy
main
Fowler is a trusted source.
yes, he is.
So if we mention Jeremy Fowler, we're speaking truth when it comes to him. Sorry, brother.
Oh, no, that's good. I mean, Shepard is, and I've liked Shepard ever since he was an Oklahoma Sooner, because when he's healthy, he can play. The man showed promise in his rookie season,
and he's all
just, the AC.
That's the thing. He's all hands. All hands.
Has very good hands. Mr. Darren Payne got himself a nice raise from the Washington Commanders. Got himself a nice 4-year, $90 million deal.
Yeah, he ain't one
Commander. Yeah. The Commanders' defense might be some problems in 2023. I'm just telling you.
They still got that dude.
Yes, they still have Mr. Chase Young on one side. You have Montez Sweat on the other. Not to mention Payne, and not to mention Mr. Allen. That front four, which does not get talked about often, and they should. That front four.
Put the league on notice. They're about to put the league on notice.
The front four in the nation's capital can do some damage this year. Because don't think Chase Young doesn't have motivation to come back. Because even when he came back, he was still saying, "Hey,
still
we ain't done."
And I believe their offense is going to take a leap and bound. I have faith in Eric Bieniemy. I've been to Eric Bieniemy since he was a running back. You know what I'm saying? And you can ask my dad how I feel about Eric Bieniemy. Bring that name up, he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that's his favorite. That's his favorite running back." You damn right. Eric Bieniemy was a beast. But
watch his film as a Colorado Buffalo.
Hello.
And go.
But a lot of people don't know Colorado has produced a lot of good football players. And you wouldn't think, damn, he went to Colorado? Yes. Mr. Swiss Army knife.
I know they've been on some down times, but
they must be good now.
Definitely. But for a long time, the Colorado Buffaloes, especially in the 80s and 90s, going to Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado was not an easy place to win.
Where did Cordell Stewart play football?
To Colorado.
Thank you very much.
Ask Rich Eisen about Cordell Stewart and the Hail Mary in the big house and hearing Keith Jackson get all excited on the Hail Mary to Michael Westbrook.
Was I at your house or you at my house watching that game?
Sadly, you and I did not know each other back then. That's right. That happened 3 years before you and I came together. But I would say this: if we do know each other, we would be like, "Bruh, did you see the Hail Mary?"
Thank you.
And
don't sleep on Colorado. Don't sleep on the Buffaloes this year because they do got themselves one hell of a coach. And I think Deion Sanders is about to shake up the whole Pac-12. It's about to be a riot up in there. And I'm gonna let you know what's that gift where my dude grabbed it and he's sitting back and eating that popcorn. That's about to be, yeah. I'm looking forward to college football next season.
So while back to the Jets now, as they wait on that quarterback situation, they did re-sign linebacker Quincy Williams, 3-year deal, $18 million, solid player for the Jets. Yes. Wasn't expecting my team to do this, but re-signing Tashawn Gibson was a huge, tremendous signing, which unfortunately led to Jimmy Ward going to Houston, which was kind of expected. But Tashawn Gibson, pretty much is the reason why Talanoa Hufanga just came out of nowhere in the second year. So,
and I expect
Niners
him to
will
have a damn good year the next season.
yes, they run it. They will definitely run it back. The Giants re-signed their punter Jamie Gillian and their long snapper Casey Kreider to 1-year deals on each side. Gus Edwards gets his contract reworked to stay in Buffalo, to stay in Baltimore. Um,
Solid.
The Browns, yeah, he is. The Browns tweak Watson's contract. The Lions keep the offensive lineman Isaiah Buggs. The Lions should take the big step this year because, like I said, we have been promoting the Lions along with the Jets on this show the last 2 years.
They showed you. They showed you what they could be.
Yeah.
The
Bills resigned. The Bills resigned punter Sam Martin and linebacker Tyler Matakevich. Of course, the Panthers have made offers to Donta Freeman and center Bradley Bozeman. If I'm the Panthers, I definitely would bring back Mr. Freeman because Mr. Freeman ran the ball with some madness once he got a chance last season under Steve Wilkes. I'm just saying, Donta Freeman.
Don't the Panthers still got Hubbard as well, still too though?
Yeah, they still got Chuba. They still got Chuba. Yes, they do.
That field is pretty nasty.
Yeah. The Bengals did re-sign Michael Thomas, the safety, on a 1-year deal.
They had to losing Bates.
Yeah. Now, here's something that boggles my mind because the Atlanta Falcons already have a tight end named Kyle Pitts, who is a fantastic talent.
True.
I'm not understanding why they added Jonnu Smith as the Patriots traded Jonnu Smith to the Falcons.
Let me tell you what this NFL is pretty much going at. And you are.
It's become a lot of 11 personnel, 2 tight end sets, no question. I get it.
But then my thing is, do they have all this faith in Ritter still, or are they going to get that veteran?
Question. Very good question. The Cowboys, the Chargers re-sign Easton Stick. He returns the backup to Justin Herbert. Cameron Jordan got his contract reworked, and that saves the Saints $10 million. The Falcons re-signed their Pro Bowl guard Chris Lindstrom to a nice 5-year deal, well earned. He's a solid guard. Yeah. Bills are restructuring Nyheim Hines' contract, I've liked Nyheim Hines ever since he was a Colt. I forgot that he got traded. Right now, the Buccaneers are having interest in Baker Mayfield and Jacoby Brissett. To the Chargers, something we found very shocking this morning when we were going through the legal tampering stuff. All-purpose running back Austin Eckler is asking to get me out of Inglewood. Requesting permission to speak to other teams about a trade after a contract extension failed. His agent, Cameron Weiss, told Adam Schefter this, and he's only 27 years old. And he's entering the final year of a 4-year deal. He's scheduled to earn almost $6.5 million. But yeah, Austin Eckler, a huge cog of the Chargers offense, asking to be traded. And go ahead, sir.
And if you didn't know what the pointing was, that was the Beyonce to the left. Get his ass up. Look, bye-bye. He's a thorn in everybody's side in the AFC. So,
yeah, but he's a damn good football player.
Oh no! I'm not talking about.
No, I'm not knocking him, but I'm just saying as a trust me, when certain people got out of my division, I'm like, damn it, yes, bye. So
I'm just saying
I get it.
Goals. I mean, Keenan Allen ain't been the healthiest person in a few years. Mike Williams can't play a full season.
Correct.
To lose their tight end, their only best weapon is Austin Eckler. So if he goes bye-bye, that offense, that's a good 80, 90% of their offense gone. I'm good with that.
Well, as I say, the Chargers are going to charge it.
As long as he don't go to the Chiefs or the Broncos, we're good.
Well, like I said, the depleting of the Eagles defense continues. Linebacker TJ Edwards signs with the Bears, and he's only 26, and he was an undrafted free agent of Wisconsin. The Buccaneers are exploring trade possibilities with guard Shaq Mason.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. He's a very solid guard.
Must be cap casualty.
Chargers are pursuing safety John Johnson III, who was released by the Browns. Of course, the Broncos signed my former right tackle, Mike McGlinchey.
I think they overpaid him.
Yes, they did, but thank you for your service and bye-bye.
Yeah, good luck trying to. I know they show footage of whatever he did to Max Crosby when he was a Niner, but good luck trying to stop Max Crosby twice a year.
Ben Powers, former Ravens guard, also went to Denver as Denver is trying to beef up that offensive line.
Yeah.
Why did my page just do that? Damn you, damn you, damn you. That comment scroll. Right. Son Ridgeway is expected to go to the Texans and join D'Amico Ryans as expected.
Yeah.
Keenum returns to be the quarterback in Houston. Well, of course, that's where he played his college ball. Chase Vinovich and also former Bronco running back Mike Boone is also going to Houston. Yeah. In terms there. Jason Kelsey says he's coming back for his 13th year as the center for the Eagles.
He ain't got some unfinished business.
Yeah. Calais Campbell, in my opinion, future Hall of Famer.
I think he got about a year or two left in the gas tank. Maybe
it's gets released by the Ravens. So Dan Graziano, another trusted source from ESPN, is saying the Broncos are having talks about trading Courtland Sutton, or Jerry Jeudy, and KJ Hamler.
Wait, all of them? I thought
all three of them. Yes.
No, wait. Excuse me. The reports that I was reading was that either one, Sutton or Jerry Jeudy will get traded. Now it's all of them are pretty much.
Teams are saying the Broncos are asking high prices, not just dumping, but it's not out of the question that one of them gets moved. So possibly one of those three will get moved. But
well, if I was them, I would trade Jerry Jeudy. I would keep Sutton. That's just my
Sutton out of the three has been the most consistent. Correct.
Jerry Jeudy can't catch a cold. Sorry, he probably couldn't. He probably couldn't catch COVID even if you threw it at him.
Goodness.
I'm telling the truth. I mean, bro, I see him once a year, and I see him all the time because I see the AFC West.
Yes.
So no, I mean, he's a great talent. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he did kind of have a good game in Vegas that one year, but then he told Amik Robinson he was small, and he fucked up when he did that. But
as we always say on the show, your best ability is availability. That's what we preach on this show. All right, the Packers re-signed kick returner Keeson Nixon.
I miss him. I miss him in Vegas, man. He was a spark to that special teams unit.
Falcons take away from the Saints David Amenyata. He signs a 3-year deal to leave and goes to Atlanta. Yeah, that's
a solid pickup.
The Colts have re-signed Tyquan Lewis to a contract extension. Danny Johnson is staying with the Commies, according to John Keim. Bradley Pinion is returning to the Falcons to be the punter. Former offensive lineman of the Giants, Nick Gates, is going to the Commander, so he stays in the NFC East.
He knows the
and Shai Tuttle, confirmed by his agent Drew Rosenhaus, stays in the NFC South, but goes to the Panthers on a 3-year, $19 million deal, 19.5, which is worth $13 million. We already talked about We already talked about Mike White going to the Dolphins to be the backup for Tua, even though Tua got his fifth option picked up. Cameron Sutton, former Steeler, is now going to the Detroit Lions on a 3-year,
Aaron Glenn will coach him up.
$33 million deal. But the Steelers did get active as the free Hall of Famer Patrick Peterson is going to play for Mike Tomlin.
How can you not run a wall through? How can you not want to run through a wall for Mike Tomlin?
So you got Minka Fitzpatrick on one side and Patrick Peterson on the other. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Now, wait. Now, hold on now.
If he doesn't leave, that is.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
There's been no indications that Minka Fitzpatrick is leaving Pittsburgh, but nonetheless, that would be a pretty good secondary to held back there. The Chiefs, after losing offensive lineman, gain one. They signed former Jaguar Jawan Taylor on a 4-year, $80 million deal, which is $60 million guaranteed, and he's only 25 years old. Bills bring in former Cowboys lineman Connor McGovern on a 3-year deal worth $23 million. The Giants re-sign Watt Davis to their offensive line. And Ravens tight end Josh Oliver signs with the Vikings. This is another move I don't understand because the Vikings just traded for TJ Hawkinson, and Hawkinson balled out as a Viking when he got there. So this is news to me. As mentioned, former Cincinnati Bengal Von Bell is now a Carolina Panther. He leaves the Bengals. Former Chief Andrew Wiley is now a Commander. He signs there for a 3-year deal, which is going to beef up the line for the Commanders. Ethan Posick resigns with the Browns, their center. And the Bills take a hit on defense. Tremaine Edmonds is heading to Chicago to be a part of the Bears defense. 4 years, $72 million, $50 million guarantee. And of course,
nice.
And of course, a friend of our show, Mr. Mankey, was very, very happy with that signing. Let me tell you, he was very pleased. Cam Lewis signs him. Huh?
You say the Bears or the Falcons? Are we talking about the Falcons or the Bears?
Bears.
Man Cave's a Bear fan? I thought it was a Falcon fan.
No, he's a Bears fan. He's from he's practically from Chicago.
Then him and my cousin will get along very well.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Bills signed Cam Lewis to a 1-year deal, restricted free agent, mainly special teams.
Yeah.
Broncos signed former Raiders backup Jared Stidham to a 2-year deal to back up Russell Wilson. As already told about, the former Titan center and guard Nate Davis goes to the Bears to shore up that offensive line. Very happy that my football team re-signed Kevin Givens to be depth on that defensive line.
And you got Gibson.
Yes.
Gibson.
Jermaine Pratt decides to stay in Cincinnati, the linebacker. So he's there for a 3-year deal.
Oh, got paid.
Yes, he did. As mentioned earlier, Jesse Bates leaving Cincinnati, coming to the ATL, signing with the Falcons. That's a 4-year, $65.02 million, with 23 of that in the first year, and then $36 million over the first 2 years of that contract. As mentioned, Patrick Peterson, 2-year deal with the Steelers. Already mentioned the Cowboys and Seahawks with the interest in Bobby Wagner. Raheem Nunez-Roches is signing with the Giants, former Chief, former Buccaneer. Jamel Dean is going to stay in Tampa on a 4-year deal. On a 4-year deal worth $52 million. The Commanders have claimed Cam Dantzler off waivers from the Vikings. He was a 3rd-round pick for the Vikings in 2020. The Jets have cut O-lineman Drew Samora. Brett Toth resigns with the Eagles. The Cowboys have reconstructed Michael Gallup's contract. The Lions re-sign Alex Anzalone to another contract. He will make a 3-year deal for the Lions. Cody Barton is coming back to the Commanders for a 1-year deal. Ogbanya Orokoro is going to the 3-year deal with the Browns. He'll be he'll replace Jadavion Clowney, and he'll be on the other side next to Myles Garrett.
Oh, that's right. Jadavion Clowney's up out of there.
Lions are signing free agent left tackle Andre Dillard.
Ooh.
Dillard is a former Eagles first round pick.
Yeah.
Greg Zuerlein is staying with the Jets. Matt Breida is returning to the Giants. And the Jaguars have signed former Broncos tight end Chris Manhertz at tight end. David Long Jr. leaves the Titans for the Dolphins.
Well, now.
Bobby Okereke leaves the Colts for the Giants. Alex Singleton is deciding to re-sign back with Broncos. Bradley Bozeman re-signing with the Panthers to be their center. Dolphins re-signing linebacker Duke Riley to a 2-year deal. Also, Zach Allen is leaving the Cardinals for the Broncos. 3 years, $45.75 million.
The Broncos
32 and a half. The Broncos have spent over $220 million so far during this first day of free agency. Yeah, $220 million. Jameis Winston returns to the Saints. Eric Kendricks returns to Los Angeles, where he played college ball at UCLA to come with the Chargers, which is a good, solid pickup for them.
Not
as
really.
He was released. That's the Raider fan in him talking. And a question for my team. Don't understand this move. I get it. I guess it's insurance, but my team decides to take a flyer on Sam Darnold.
Buckethead.
Yes. Hopefully he won't be seeing ghosts, as he once said.
I was called. But wait, not only did you guys get Sam Darnold, go ahead and say that big splash signing that nobody saw coming out of nowhere.
Before we get to that, Ramon Jones signing a 3-year deal with the Seahawks. The Bills have restructured the contracts of Josh Allen and Von Miller, which frees them up $32 million in cap space. Of course, we already talked about Jimmy Ward signing with the Texans.
Yep.
We covered that. Falcons have signed former Saints linebacker Caden Ellis. So the Falcons are raiding their own division by signing former players.
Killing them.
The Jets have reconstructed John Franklin Myers' contract.
Yep.
Former Titans defensive end DeMarcus Walker, he signs with the Bears, 3 years, $21 million, 16 guaranteed. Dalvin Tomlinson, according to Jake Trotter, is signing with the Browns.
Yeah, kind of wanted him to join my squad, but it's a good pickup for the Browns.
And now we'll get to the shocking, well, the two most shocking things, I guess you could say. Now, before this happened, there was possible rumors that my team possibly might sign Zadarius Smith, and I was like, damn it, I will take him right now. Zadarius Smith is a fantastic pass rusher.
Fantastic.
Then I wake up, and then I get a text message from you saying, wow, your team. And as I'm getting ready to type, I see no alerts. What the hell are you talking about? Then I see I'm like, what? Like, do not play with my emotions right now. Don't mess with me right now. And then I'm like, is this for real? Am I dreaming? Is this
rich
real?
Continues to get richer. The rich just continue to get richer.
It was like, are you messing with me? Like, do not make me smack thee. But as I was wiping the sleep out of my eyes, it is true. It is true. As Kurting would say, it is damn true. Shock. Javon Hargrave is coming to Santa Clara and being a 49er to the tune of 4-year, $84 million deal, confirmed by his agent Rosenhaus, confirmed by Adam Schefter. So now your front four will consist of Javon Hargrave, Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw, and one Nicholas Bosa. It's not that the Niners needed to upgrade on the defensive side of the football, considering you just came off being the number 1 defense in football a season ago. But this was Greg Rosenthal's number one free agent. Don't know who Greg Rosenthal is. He is a fantastic columnist on NFL.com and also breaks down film tremendously like nobody else does. Greg Rosenthal is a trusted name you trust when it comes to the NFL. Just, his credentials speak for himself.
Indeed.
He said this was his number one ranked free agent. And
I can't believe I got to sit here and do this. I can't believe I got to sit here and say this. This just burns. And I know D-Boy.
First off, where's your drink? So you can wash your mouth out.
It's coming. Don't even worry about it. You just sit back and relax.
Okay.
And Debo loves this every time.
I know he does.
But damn it. How come Bro, let me just sit here and tell you what your team just did to this whole division with just one move. You already stacked, like you just said. The credentials, I ain't gotta speak too much. But damn it. Him and Nick Bosa, excuse me, are about to tear up the whole division. The Seattle Seahawks, they whatever.
They were a nice story.
Exactly. It was nice. The Cardinals, they got their own players telling their own quarterback to grow up.
Yeah.
They ain't ready.
Rams in a full fire sale.
The Rams, they sold their soul and said, fuck them picks and spent too much money, and now they're in cap purgatory. They're not ready for nothing.
And now possibly might put Matt Stafford on the trading block.
Exactly. Who's the only established team in this division?
Team. Which now
y'all about to easily just sit here. I will be shocked if y'all don't sweep the division this upcoming season.
We did like we did this past season.
Excuse me.
Like I said, like we did this past season, sweep the West again.
Y'all swept the West.
Correct.
Okay. If y'all don't do it again, it should be a cakewalk. It should. You should have guaranteed 6 wins. That should be easy. 6. Right? 6.
I am not one to expectations on my team because I don't do that. I don't.
Don't make me do the gift.
No. But here's what I'm going to say. They really don't have to make another move on defense. And they may, like I said, they may have to go get another linebacker because it's more than likely Aziz Al-Shire is going to leave, which he has earned the right to get a payday.
He might end up in Houston. I think
a
lot of your players will end up following D'Amico Ryan because, of course,
he's done that right.
Yeah, you follow
so
yeah,
and plus he'll probably be a full-fledged starter because Aziz Al-Shire played tremendous in Dre Greenlaw's absence, so he's earned the right to get a payday. No question about that. With the team they have right now, and again, they don't have to make another move on defense, only if they freaking want to.
Yeah.
Again, this is what happens when you got 2 quarterbacks on friendly rookie deals. You can get players like this, which is now which now seems to be the route that every team is going. Okay, team friendly quarterback contracts. Okay,
build your defense.
Build your defense, or build in the trenches. Because as we know, it all starts in the trenches. As Dan Dierdorf always would say, whoever controls the line of scrimmage wins the game. Of course, if you don't know who Dan Dierdorf is, Hall of Fame tackle, Hall of Fame broadcaster. That's what he would always say. Whoever controls the line of scrimmage wins the game, and that's often. Yes, he did have it when he played with the St. Louis Cardinals. Yes, he did.
Oh, he also had it when he wore the jacket for ABC.
Yes, he did.
You know, don't. Yeah.
Like he had the full Fu Manchu when he played for the Cardinals.
Oh well, yeah, but it was more astounding when he was on ABC.
Next to Conrad Doppler.
Boy, see, we dropping too much knowledge on this episode for the fans right now.
Which Conrad Doppler who recently just passed away. Him and Dan Dierdorf on that left side gave Jim Hart a lot of time to throw the football. Go watch the film on Don Coryell's Cardinals in the mid-70s. From 74 to 76. We always talk about El Coryell with the Chargers and Dan Fouts.
Yeah.
But it started in St. Louis with the Cardinals and Jim Hart, him throwing the ball to the great tight end Jackie Smith, of course. Most notably as the Cowboy that dropped the wide one touchdown pass in Super Bowl 13 for Roger Staubach, but he was a tremendous pass catcher as a Cardinal. Of course, Eric Metcalf's dad, Terry. Yeah, of course. Terry Metcalf, Eric Metcalf's dad, was a tremendous force on the Cardinals. And before he went to the Vikings, Ahmad Rashad was a part of the Eric Coryell offense before he changed his name, back then known as Bobby Moore. But
see, now you're doing too much knowledge giving him Ahmad Rashad. A lot of people don't know Ahmad Rashad played football.
Yeah,
you're doing too much.
Which they only know.
Married to, drop it to him.
He was once married to Claire Huxtable. He once was married to Claire Huxtable. Yes, he was. Who actually proposed to her on live TV on Thanksgiving Day in 1985. It's on YouTube. Go watch the tape.
100.
Anyhow, before we get back into the story about Hargrave, I would be remiss if we did not talk about the great Hall of Fame coach of the Minnesota Vikings, who we just recently lost on this past Saturday, the great Bud Grant. First off, this is how I will forever remember Bud Grant. The playoff game that the Vikings played when they were playing at the University of Minnesota when U.S. Bank Stadium was getting built.
Yes.
Of course, it was known for the Blair Walsh chip shot missed field goal on the Falcon, and the Seahawks barely escaped. But this is all you need to know about Bud Grant. Okay. It was freezing cold on that particular January Sunday. Bud Grant was an honorary captain for the Vikings on that particular day. Bud Grant walked onto the field, as cold as it is, without no jacket. All he had on was his Vikings hat and his Vikings polo shirt. And when he walked onto the field, the whole entire stadium lost their flipping mind. When I think about Bud Grant, I think about toughness. First off, even before he got to the NFL, he was in the CFL, and he coached the Winnipeg Blue Bombers to 4 Grey Cups. Which, if you don't know what that is, the Grey Cup in the CFL is the equivalent to the Lombardi Trophy in the NFL. Coached in Canada, led the Blue Bombers to 4 Grey Cups, came to the Vikings. The Vikings in the late 60s to mid 70s was the class of the NFC, along with the Cowboys. It seemed like every other year it was either the Cowboys or the Vikings representing the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Bud Grant, he's up there with Marv Levy, 0 for 4 Super Bowls, which shouldn't take away what a great coach he was, because he was a fantastic head coach.
Yeah.
He coached the great Fran Tarkenton, coached the Purple People Eaters, coached Chuck Foreman. If you don't know who Chuck Foreman is, Chuck Foreman was a bad running back that wore number 44 in that purple and gold uniform. And Bud Grant, rightfully so, earned his gold jacket, a fantastic human being who leaves a fantastic legacy with the Vikings. And it would be wrong of us, because anytime a legend in the world of sports pass, we like to give our final respects, because without them, no, you can't tell the story of the NFL and not mention Bud Grant. One of the great films that NFL Films has done is there's a film of Bud Grant, and all you just see is the snowflakes coming down at the old Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota, which Met State, which of course that was the home of the Twins and the Vikings. But one thing people did not know about Metropolitan Stadium is both teams were on one sideline, kind of like how it was when the Packers would play their 2 home games a year at Old County Stadium in Milwaukee. It was only one. It was one sideline, and both teams were on that one sideline, so it was kind of hard to
navigate,
talk strategy. But that's one of those great NFL film sound bites of Bud Grant and the snowflakes just coming down on his jacket and his hat. But Bud Grant, fantastic head coach, one of the great coaches in history, lived a tremendous, great life, 95 years old. And like I said, I would be remiss if we didn't pay respects to the great Hall of Famer.
Yeah, awesome.
Now, there's been a particular fan of the show and a subscriber of the show that has requested that my brother and co-host revolves and leaves some passion. Now, before we talk about that particular subject, let's talk about the other signing that your beloved team that wears silver and black signed. They signed Epps, the cornerback from the Eagles, which I know that's not the
flashy. Solid pick, but not flashy. That means he fits the scheme. That's all that means to me. It's just a schematic type of thing. So,
know who you want. You want Mr. Pryor out there, and of course
I'll take Poyer. Yeah, you give me Poyer. But then again, if you're gonna get Poyer, that means you're taking away from Merrick, and I like Merrick.
Yes.
And it sounds like that Daron Harmon is not coming back, and I'll be real kind of disappointed if he doesn't come back, because once they gave him the green dot, the defense got a little bit better because he was putting players in the right position. So I just gotta sit here and trust the regime. That's all, I guess.
But of course, the story of the day here in Las Vegas, which is not necessarily shocking, because even before it happened,
we're going there.
Yeah, well, they want passion out of you, and I know you will give the passion. And you can see the look on his face, because he really does not want to talk about this, because he was very adamant that I did not want this guy. I did not want this guy. I did not want this guy. I don't want him. I don't want him. That gummit, I don't want him. And the only thing I said this morning was, unfortunately, the unfortunate thing about this is, unfortunately, there is going to be a former Patriot quarterback that's going to be the starter.
What you've been saying previous shows, it was.
This is probably the one time. This is probably the one,
bro. Damn it when you're right. I mean, I love it when you're right, because I never too much go against anything you say, because we're pretty much, like I said, it's 9.89 out of 10 that I know I said 5 earlier, but we're pretty much on point all the time. But when you kept saying that it will be a former Patriot, I didn't want to hear it. I just didn't, especially when there's other things that can come with that. But this porno G is here.
Yes, that is the that is the news. James Richard Garoppolo reunited.
Nah, bro, we ain't going by government. We gonna give him his name. It's porno Jimmy, and bro, he's in the right location. I mean,
well, it is legal.
He can go to East Strip Club. I mean, he did date a porn star.
He can go to brothels. But
Let me explain this right now. I'm just gonna get this out there. Furthermore, out there, fuck Jimmy G. All right, you'll get that out there. But before I give you my rant, He does now wear a silver and black jersey.
Yes,
so I do support Jimmy Garoppolo. But before this season starts, I'm going to give you the side that I did not want this guy because he'll be broke by week 5. I'm just going to say he's going to be broke, bro. We don't have the offensive line. Your team had the offensive line. They had the defense. They had the weapons.
In all facts, you're correct.
It was perfectly built for an OG.
Just to be a game manager, not to be the guy. You're absolutely right.
Hey, I know you hit me with the schematics that he's 40-17, he blah 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 blah. Yeah, he had that shit with shit that surrounded him. We don't have it. We don't have it. The moment that Devontae Adams is here and the ball falls here.
Oh boy. Oh, he's going there. He is going there. Oh boy.
I don't want to say nothing else. He can't throw the deep ball. And I don't give a flying flip fuck what they showed me on Twitter earlier, how Jimmy G was throwing the ball downfield. Okay. That's because the fucking Niners had an offensive line. The fucking Raiders don't have an offensive line. I'm sorry.
Side of Colton Miller.
Bro, we don't have a fucking offensive line.
Oh boy.
The only thing they're built for was running because we had the best running back in the NFL. And guarantee, and let me tell you this, a lot of those yards he got is because he did that shit by himself. It wasn't because they fucking blocked for him. You can look at the film. Josh Jacobs was doing a whole lot of breaking tackles and telling people, fuck you, stiff arm. Okay? Let me hit it real quick.
Oh my. Oh boy.
We have
now if this was back in the day, he probably would have killed a fifth of Hennessy right now. I'm just telling you folks. If this was back in the day.
That's where I was that fan. That fan that yes, this is the more mature fan right now. But we don't have the things needed for Jimmy. And I tell you what, if they don't solidify that offensive line, we will still be that 6-11 team. Straight up. And I'll tell you this right now. They better go in there and give JJ everything he wants right now because the team is going to fall on his back yet again. Jimmy will be broke by week 5, bro. Devontae Adams is going to be pissed. I'm telling you. Look, a Niner fan wanted to bet me that the Raiders would make it to the playoffs.
Your team would get to the playoffs. Really, he is really, that fan was really confident in confident in that.
And I'm sitting, I wasn't grasping how that was coming at me. Because I'm sitting here like, we don't have this, we don't have. They was like, he's betting you that your team would make it to the playoffs. I'm like, I still don't want that bet. If they don't build, especially the defense, if they don't build on that defense, it's just going to be a repeat. And I tell you why they want Jimmy Garoppolo, man, because Josh McDaniels came out and said he needs a mobile quarterback.
Garoppolo's not a mobile quarterback.
Bro,
he takes off the glasses. Oh my goodness.
The last time I seen Jimmy Garoppolo really try to get loose, scrambling, he was in Arrowhead playing the Chiefs. And you know what game I'm talking about. Because once he got out of there, he figured that he couldn't get any more yardage. He tried to run out of bounds. He got fucking blasted, and he was done for the whole year.
Well, you know what I said? Look, this is exactly what I said because you and I were together watching the game. I said, the season is over. And what happened?
You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because for that game, I looked at you and said there's 2 things that happened because when you see the John Deere, there's two things that happen to your season or your day.
Mm-hmm.
If the John Deere picks you up, your day is done or your season is over. Flat out. The John Deere is brought out or even the ambulance. There's two things to your season. When Jimmy Garoppolo decided he wanted to scramble outside the pocket, hit that sideline, and thought that he was Mike Vick. And then when he thought he wasn't Mike Vick and that Kansas City Chief player hit him, he was done. And that was the start of his can't play the whole year. So now I'm going to give you the whole, maybe a pro of this.
No, by the way, the Niners finished that season 4-12.
Because why? They put their whole season on Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, the Raiders will sit here and tell you Jimmy Garoppolo is the stopgap for a rookie quarterback that we're going to draft. If we draft a quarterback and we still don't produce on the offensive line, do we get any better? No. 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 What did I tell you? Lamar better, right?
That's what you said.
So guess what?
Stares deep into the glass.
We're still going to be the redheaded stepchild to the AFC West. Kansas City, yet again, will win this division.
That's even with them losing some offensive linemen.
Bro.
As long as 15 is still the quarterback, I get it. I understand it. I get it.
Do you see the consistency that's going on in Kansas City? They're the only ones in the division that got their shit together.
I
still have the Elways finishing 4. The Elways will finish 4 in the division. Staley will screw his team in the middle of the year.
As they say, the Chargers are going to charge her. Well, the only question I have is, will the Chiefs' offense still rack up points? Because keep in mind now, this is going to be Matt Nagy's offense. Well, I mean, it's still Andy Reid's offense, but Matt Nagy is the quote-unquote offensive coordinator, not Eric Bieniemy. But it's still going through Big Kool-Aid Man. But
what did you say a few seconds ago?
As long as 15 is still there. That's all there is to it. As long as 1-5 is still the quarterback in Kansas City, Missouri, putting ketchup on his steak, yeah.
And as long as 1-5 got 87, that piece of shit.
Yeah, but he got you a lot of fantasy points, though.
Damn the fantasy points. I don't give a fuck about fantasy. I want my goddamn Raiders to win football games.
Okay. From this standpoint, I will say this. Okay. No. As I will give my final oath. Okay. Now, yes. He makes 5 Jimmy no throws a game. And I couldn't stand it. Because you were the recipient of many text messages of me going WTF.
Bro, he cost y'all a Super Bowl. If he puts that ball on Emmanuel Sanders, you guys have as many Super Bowls damn near.
We're at the table with the Patriots and Steelers. We're at the table on
Emmanuel Sanders.
We're at the table with the Steelers and Patriots with 6 Lombardis. Absolutely. Okay.
As I sipped my damn tequila because I just gave y'all credit yet again.
What pains him? Okay. I know much of the 49er family will not learn to appreciate him, but I hope they do. Simply because from this standpoint, when he got there in 2017, Coming off going 2-14 in the one season under Chip Kelly, which I will never understand why they hired him for
Y'all
2016.
might as well just throw that in the what Will Smith said. We gonna put that in the box. Y'all go Niner fans y'all when you mention Chip Kelly, who? We don't know that guy. Yeah, Tom Sula like a motherfucker.
But when he got there in 2017,
yes,
and he came in the last drive against the Seahawks and let him do a touchdown drive and then won those final 5 games, I don't care what anybody says. It gave the faithful hope again.
it did.
They did not have since the Harbaugh years, which was only 3 years removed from when he last coached in Santa Clara. Yes, the 2018 season, right? Yes, the 2018 season took a hit when he tore his ACL in Kansas City, and we're like, oh, great, here we go again. Then 2019 happened.
Out when he decided he
yes,
thought he was like I'm talking
that's
about
that's when he ended his year riding John Deere back to the locker room to get.
And that's where it went.
Said in 2019, if he stays healthy, possibly can win the division. That's what I said. Wasn't expecting a trip to the Super Bowl, but hey, here comes Raheem Mostert out of nowhere. A run.
Kept feeding the ball.
Unfortunately, 3rd and 15 happened in Super Bowl 54. And again,
brother, it wasn't just 3rd and 15. Go ahead and say who missed the wide open Emmanuel Sanders.
That too, but also at the same time, that pass interference on the deep ball that Kittle caught before the end of the half.
Oh well, yeah, yeah.
That didn't help either. Yeah. Also, the fact that Kyle Shanahan stopped giving Mostert and stopped giving Deebo Samuel the ball didn't help either. But the part that really gets me the most, because for the first 3 quarters of that game, Patrick Mahomes looked confused like he did in Super Bowl 55 against the Buccaneers. He couldn't do a damn thing. Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy was having a hard time moving the ball on this defense. And then freaking 3rd and 15 happens to where Tyreek Hill is all by his freaking lonesome.
Put the ball on Emmanuel Sanders and we ain't having this discussion.
Agree. 1,000%.
It wasn't 3rd and 15. Yeah, that might have done it, but put that ball on Emmanuel Sanders. We ain't having this discussion at all. And I'm sitting here talking about F your organization.
True. He would be saying that. However, I hope somewhere down the line, the faithful will take a time to tip their cap because, again, Garoppolo, yes, the team was talented. Yes, it had a solid running game. Yes, it had a fantastic defense. But there were some times to where his arm actually did win some games.
He did make some big throws.
The game against the Saints in 2019 comes to mind. The game against the Rams in 2019 comes to mind. Yeah. The game against the Cardinals on Halloween comes to mind. The game against the Cardinals where he throws the touchdown pass to Jefferson Jr. comes to mind. The game against the Steelers where the Niners should have lost that game to the Steelers, but found a way to win. He's made some big throws. He won 70% of the games that he started in Santa Clara. Okay. And sometimes we won games in spite of him because he would make some throws and you're just like, what the heck? Even before he hurt his foot, he was playing fantastic football.
I get it. You can stop buttering up his ass to my.
He's
gone. Be happy. I'm joking. No, that was brother. That was all jokes aside because I know how when it comes to how we talk about this, you're being serious. But yeah, I hear that. I hear all of that, and I hope that we get a smidgen of that. But the thing is, I'm just gonna boil it down to this. Out of all what you're saying is, y'all had a great offensive line. You had a great running back. You had great receivers. You had a top 10 defense. He is now coming to the AFC West where the Raiders ain't had a top 10 defense before me and you were born. And look it up. That's facts. The Raiders ain't had a top 10 deep. Derek Carr was with the Raiders for nine years.
Correct.
And how many of those years did he have a top 10 defense?
Never. Even the year where
Maybe. Not even once.
Oh.
No, okay. So
even the year where they possibly could have gone to the Super Bowl if he doesn't break his ankle against the Colts.
that it wasn't a top 10 defense.
It wasn't a top 10 defense.
Nope.
Because they damn near had to score 40 a game just to win.
Nope. Even when they had the Rich Gannon, that wasn't a top 10 defense. They had the number one offense.
You know what the funny thing is? In the last 20 years, and this is something I looked up from the show, and this is something I looked up before the show. The last 20 years, only Chuck Bresnahan has a winning record as defensive coordinator.
Exactly.
You were not the biggest Chuck Bresnahan fan either.
No.
Because I know you was pissed when they let Willie Shaw go as a defensive coordinator. You was pissed off they let Willie Shaw go, which, by the way, that is former Stanford coach David Shaw's father. Just FYI, by the way. But yeah, you were pissed they let Willie Shaw go. You was mad as hell when that happened.
It's like this organization does not know how to get it together. They don't know how to see a good thing. I so wish that freckle face would have gave Hugh Jackson a second season. But I got it. That's not his guy that was brought in. As a GM, you always want to bring in your coach.
Your coach, correct.
Number one. But this is what I love what Mark Davis did, though. It's rarely you see where a coach and a GM comes in together. That's the only reason why I have a smidgen of faith with this regime right now. But signing Jimmy Garoppolo,
tequila tastes good.
Nah, bruh. I'd rather live than die with Carr. At least Carr would have been healthy. Carr's durable. He may not produce like you want, but he's durable.
Does not miss games. You're correct.
Now, if you would have put a defense around him, maybe.
Well, the only thing I can say is this. Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels, they have got to hit on their draft picks this year in the draft in 2023.
They got between 11 and 13 to figure out what to do.
Patrick Graham needs to coach up this defense, because if you're really talking about you want players to fit your scheme and whatever players out there can fit your scheme, well, you better find them, because
guess what? So here's the thing. You got rid of damn near everything from the old regimes, right?
Most part, correct. For the most part, yes.
Everybody's gone. This year, you should be bringing in your fit players, right?
Correct.
Draft,
Correct.
Which I get. I'm all for. You should draft, and whatever you draft, if that's what you're drafting, if it works, keep it, build around it. Because I believe that's what the Bengals are doing. You got Jamar Chase, you got Joe Burrow,
Higgins,
and you got Higgins. You drafted that. That's your baby.
Your foundation, yes.
So okay, now you tried 1 year with Carr, it didn't work. He didn't fit what you were trying to do because I believe he couldn't take the hard coaching. I'm gonna say I don't believe it was him changing the plays at the line. I believe he couldn't take the criticism when it was bad. Regardless if Gruden was his coach, Gruden yelled at you and talked at you a different way. From what I'm hearing, McDaniels calls you out on everything you do wrong. Well, if Carr couldn't take that, let's go. Let's get somebody in there that does not need to be baby. Let's get somebody that can take all the hard coaching no matter how it comes. I'm not saying that McDaniels is right in his coaching, but if everybody else in that locker room is on board with how he's coaching, if your general, as the quarterback, can't take it, get your soft ass up out of here. So let's see if Garoppolo can take it. But I believe now I'm going to give you the other side of it. Garoppolo already knows the offense. He's been a Patriot. He knows McDaniels. So McDaniels ain't going to be that hard coach on him as he was on Carr, because guess what? Carr doesn't know. He doesn't know,
Josh.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know, Josh. Jimmy does.
Exactly. So you're not going to see this type of Josh per se coaching because Garoppolo knows it per se.
He knows the playbook. Correct.
Now, he may be hard if we draft a rookie quarterback. You might get that, but that's where you have Garoppolo there to be like, hey, if you do this, that, and this, and the third, he won't be this way, this, that, and the third. Carr didn't have that.
Well, one thing that Garoppolo was, he was a good leader. And he was a fantastic teammate. A lot of the teammates
say he's excellent in the locker room. Yeah. They say
he was a fantastic locker room leader, and a lot of people
him wanting to go out and fuck around with porno stars, he was great in the locker room. So maybe they might all have a come together moment with Jimmy Garoppolo because he has that type of. Here's the thing. Okay. Ooh, I didn't want to do this.
Oh boy.
No, because it goes with what me and you believe in.
Like we always say, you want to bring players that want to come to your organization.
No, but it's not that. I'm talking about our religion.
Yeah.
This is where I'm going at. It was more of Derek Carr was more. It was the preacher boy. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
So
his faith.
I believe not religion. Thank you. Faith. That's the word I want to use. The faith was because you know how locker rooms are. You know, let's just be technical. We know as fans and we play sports, so we know how the locker room is. It's almost like the barbershop.
It's the barbershop. It's the bar. It's everything
that you want to be when you're not at home.
It's your male sanctuary, for lack of a better term. Yes. And basically, a locker room is where you can, in a sense, be yourself. And for lack of a better term, as the old quote goes, shoot the shit.
So yeah. So what I'm saying with that, not saying that Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have a faith, he doesn't have a religion, but
he's one of the guys, for lack of a better term.
Derek Carr he's one of the guys, but he ain't like one of the guys. You know what I'm saying? So when you bring Jimmy G's persona into this locker room, given that he is a good guy, a good player, a friend, etc., you're bringing a different dynamic into this locker room. And knowing that he knows Josh's system, so he can be that. So basically what I'm getting at is Josh doesn't have to be the coach that he needs to be as he had to be with Derek Carr, that he has to be the focal point. With Jimmy G now being here, Jimmy knows Josh's language. He knows how he delegates. He knows what he wants, what he commands, and what he demands, and stuff like that. So the locker room would be a little more loose, per se, what I would say, if that's how locker rooms, or, You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that Derek Carr separated the locker room, but you do remember the Washington game where you saw the team not back Derek Carr. You remember that, right? That's where our whole season turned.
Now you're talking about the 2017 season after you guys started 2-0. You're talking about the Sunday night game at FedEx Field. Yes. Correct.
Where you saw nobody, and I'm not saying this was as a religious purpose, but I'm just saying where you saw that the locker room changed on Derek. That I don't know what happened, but because that's the year where everybody was. That's what the Kaepernick year, right? With the knee.
4 in 2016.
Everybody, yeah. So I'm just saying, I'm what I'm getting at is I believe Jimmy G will bring a more relaxed locker room because I don't know his religion, but I know that Derek Carr was a preacher man, and I'm not saying that God is not in the locker room, but I believe
I think maybe what you're trying to say is maybe the teammates won't feel like Jimmy is going to judge them as proposed to how maybe possibly Carr did. Maybe that's what you're possibly trying to say. I don't know. I don't know if I'm.
You're
on
in
that
the right area where I'm trying to go. I'm just saying that. Where I'm getting at is more of because I'm not trying to bring our faith and religion into what I'm trying to say, but I'm just trying to say that Derek Carr is a faithful and a religious type of guy.
Correct.
Per se.
Correct.
And I'm just trying to say that maybe that locker room was different, and with Jimmy G coming in there, he may have a faith, but it may not be like how Derek Carr was. And that locker room might be a little more loose, is where I'm getting at. The locker room might be a little more loose, per se. And because everybody says Jimmy G is a great locker room guy.
Well, yeah, I mean George Kittle loves the heck out of him. I mean, right. George Kittle kept praising Garoppolo of just how much of a great leader he is, and even when the Niners were struggling, he never lost the locker room. Even though there was issues with the car, the locker room never was divided last year with the Raiders. It still stayed together. They still had a belief, and I mean, like I said, even we were talking about this all throughout the day before we even talked about doing the show. You kept saying, if 17 is in, okay, I won't be as harsh.
Oh, I see. That's why I apologize, Debo, because you wanted the rant that we got on Messenger earlier. But once I saw that DA was online with the Garoppolo, so that means because what I would say about the higher power, Devontae Adams was involved with everything when it came to the quarterback situation. He was in conversation. He was involved in everything. So once Devontae Adams came out and said, let's go, let's get it, it's money, that's all I care about. As long as the 17 was happy, because if he wasn't happy, all right, what picks we getting for him? Here we go. The rebuilding is over again. But I'm still upset about if Devontae Adams is here and the ball falls here. That's all I'm waiting on.
Well,
and my brother, even though that ball was overthrown. But a lot of passes now that Jimmy's been doing, they've been
short. Yes. It's been short, or the receiver has to stop mid-route to come back to the ball, which a lot of times will get you a PI on the defense. Or the touchdown pass he threw to McCaffrey against the Rams to where McCaffrey had to jump in the air to catch it because Garoppolo almost overthrew it. And if it wasn't for the athleticism of McCaffrey, it would have been an overthrown ball. So I get it. Yes, he does get the ball out quick, but he does need to work on his accuracy.
So with that being said, and as we'll get to everything that we need to get for the rest of the show, and we'll leave my team because I would love to see what's going to happen today. And I believe we'll figure out the way to do another show because I'm down to do a show the rest of this free agency. But I will say this: I think we're gonna alter our offense. We're gonna have the tailor-made, I believe, since McDaniels has his scheme guy. I don't think there will be much deep balls. And if there will be deep routes, it's because that Josh Jacobs has got enough rushing yards to where we can, because Jimmy G is a hell of a play action quarterback.
Like I said earlier, it's the offense McDaniels wants to run is basically run the ball, set up with play action, which that's where Garoppolo is his most effective is under play action.
Killer when it comes to that.
Because
and we do have the tight ends. He does thrive with a tight end. We do have the tight end. I'm just a little upset that we're letting Foster Moreau go. Because I believe if you coached him up a little bit more, because he was clutch when Waller was out. Real clutch when Waller was out. So losing him is going to hurt a little bit, but here's a compliment. All we got to do is keep Jimmy G upright. But that's to say to go any quarterback. But what I'm saying with that, keeping them upright is the way the NFL is going now, if you're not keeping your quarterback upright, he has the movement to get I see the wrinkles. What? Go ahead. I see the wrinkles in the face. Give it to us.
This really can't be a real article. Really?
Talk to us.
Okay, so another report is Rams kicker Matt Gay is leaving the Rams for the Colts, a 4-year deal. Also agreed to a 2-year deal with EJ Speed. Oh, the Vikings have signed former Saints defensive lineman Marcus Davenport, which will help the Vikings defense.
Great.
Nothing yet on the Lamar Jackson situation, but is this correct?
I don't think we're going to get no breaking news the rest of this thing.
Oh, I'm trying to. There was something I saw.
Oh my God!
I was on a Facebook feed. I'm trying to understand. Is this really serious? I'm trying to get it. Oh, also, Kelvin Beachum is agreeing to a 2-year deal to return to the Cardinals. Which, by the way, it was Beachum was the one that said that Kyler Murray needs to grow up.
There it is.
Now, supposedly, now this is on the Facebook page of Pro Football Talk, which of course is Mike Florio and Chris Sims, by way of NBC. Supposedly saying that Chargers have proposed a change to the NFL playoff seeding rules.
I read that. I heard there's a whole lot of proposals that came in that they're trying to change in the NFL. They're trying to adapt some XFL rules as well.
Okay, first off, I don't think there's nothing wrong with the seeding because, again, if you're going to reseed, then why do you have divisions?
Well, here's what they're trying to do is, you know how a division winner will hold a wild card game?
Correct.
they're trying to find a way to try to switch to where the higher seed does not have to do something that a lower seed does. I would love to pull up the article. It's going to take me a minute to find it, and I don't want to do it, but I'm trying to word it the correct way. But they're trying to find a way, like I just said, to where the higher seed doesn't have to do something that a lower seed does, per se. But for me, we've been doing this thing for years. Win your division.
Yeah.
Get the first round bye. I mean, I don't like what I don't like. I did like the format of the 1 and 2 got a bye. You earned that right. If you finish 1 and 2 in the conference, you deserve to sit and chill. You know, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to add more football by just having one seed relax and chill. The bigger prize, win that. But I did like that format to 1 and 2 had a bye because I believe they earned that. That was, you know, perfect.
Speaking of the XFL, and I know we're against the grain, and I'll close it on this. Speaking of the XFL, the atmosphere in St. Louis inside the dome was
36,000?
freaking
36,000
outstanding. Yes, 36,000 plus. And they almost opened up the 400 level, which is, you know, the quote unquote nosebleed seats. But I mean, the atmosphere inside the dome for the Battlehawks home game just goes to show you why I think the XFL 3.0 might have some staying power because, I mean,
Well, just
I mean,
football, period. Now,
yeah.
what I would love to see, I'm sorry, brother, to cut you off right there on that, but I would love to see what the XFL numbers compared to what the USFL is about to bring. I would love to see what, I mean, for me, I'm gonna watch both because it's football. It gives me that not NFL feeling, but it gives me it's football. I'm a football fan.
It's the appetizer before the NFL season starts.
Exactly. I love football so much that, damn it, you can give me the CFL, you can give me the Arena Football League, you can give me rugby. It's football, damn it. And yes, I watch soccer. They don't do it the way we do it, but damn it, they call it football, so I'm watching it. But yeah, I would love to see the XFL numbers compared to the USFL. I mean, I'm gonna give them the ratings because I'm gonna watch it because I love, like I said, I love football.
And this year, the USFL will be playing at 3 different locations, which I hope eventually that the USFL will let the teams play in their actual home base, like the XFL does.
But have a hub to where your big bowl is being played.
Correct. Like, for example, I mean, if it's, I know most of the games last season for the USFL were played in, I want to say Birmingham, Alabama, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you're on point.
Okay, so I mean, have your hub be out there, have your practices be out there, like the XFL has their practice hub and their headquarters in Arlington, Texas.
Yeah.
Which hopefully eventually it'll turn to the XFL, you know, making them practice in their home base, hopefully. I also hope that if the success continues for the XFL, I hope they can expand and possibly bring back some of the original teams. Like I would love to see the Memphis Maniacs return to the XFL. Hopefully
out this way. I need something out this way. I would love to go watch an XFL game out
this way. I mean, I was a huge San Francisco Demons guy when the Demons were out there. Maybe perhaps put them in Sacramento, have them be the Sacramento Demons. You know, possibly have them play their home games at Sacramento State or the proposed MLS stadium that's being built in Sacramento, supposedly. Have them play there, or have them be the San Jose Demons and they play either at San Jose State or the soccer stadium that the Earthquakes play at.
Too far.
I'm just making suggestions, but I'm
you're throwing it out there. Just too far.
Well, I would say maybe perhaps have it in Sacramento.
But Sacramento, I would travel. I would.
I know. But I mean, give Sacramento, an XFL team. Perhaps expand the XFL in San Diego also. I mean, It's just suggestions.
Just give them in cities, period. Put them in solid cities. Hell, San Francisco. I mean, you know, as much as I hate to say this because I love Oakland. Oakland is like Oakland. It would be nice to have an XFL, but Oakland ain't going in that direction because they've damn near lost everything. The Raiders are gone, Warriors are gone, and the A's are on their way to Vegas. I don't care what nobody says. They're on their way
supposedly the rumor that's going on is where the Rio Hotel sits. That supposedly is going to be the site for the stadium.
I'm jealous of you, bro. You damn near about to be the sports capital. Vegas is damn near about to be the LA and New York for sports.
Well, it's
and I would say Texas as well because Texas has plenty sports. So yeah, it.
I mean, the only thing missing is an NBA team, and that most likely is going to happen because there's another arena is getting built. I think it's specifically just for that.
Within 3 years, Vegas will have an NBA team.
It's a weird thing because for so many years, the big thing against Vegas was the gambling. Well, the NFL has a deal with MGM/Caesars. I mean, it's
WWF is about to start being embedding. I'm like, really?
Really?
Me and you sit here and we predict everything.
Everything.
And we sit there and be like, you called it. Betting
on a predetermined winner.
On a soap opera. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah. Our soap opera, female soap opera, yes.
Gambling for that?
Oh no. Okay. So
can get elected in the Hall of Fame? Get the fuck out of here with that, bro.
So supposedly it's supposed to be on high profile matches. So just for example, if it ends up being Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania,
Roman Reigns is gonna win.
You're saying that I can place a wager on that match, quote unquote.
I just said and told you who's gonna win. I'm not even a writer, but I know Roman Reigns because they're trying to build Roman Reigns. Do you think Fox will have SmackDown without Roman Reigns being the champion?
No.
The Usos will lose the titles before Roman Reigns will lose. Here we go. We went to wrestling. Come on, let's line it up.
All right.
Talk the whole 3 hours about other stuff.
All right. So we've covered a lot of bases here tonight. Free agency. Shout out to St. Louis and their XFL home opener. Of course, we paid homage to the late great Hall of Famer head coach Bud Grant. But we will also just continue to do more NFL free agency because the day has just begun. Like I said, the league year officially starts in tomorrow because it is the 14th. It starts the 15th. So we will definitely keep you posted, keep you in contact with.
Are you down for
free agency? So we will definitely do another show sometime this week. We don't know when, but
I'm asking you, are you ready when I get off work? Would you want to do? Oh, I'll say this: if something big happens, we're doing the show.
Okay.
If nothing,
sounds good to me.
Yeah, I mean, I said that we should do everything free agency until the draft. I'm down to do shows up until the draft.
Tell me twice. You gotta tell me twice.
I mean, we're gonna have to talk about the NBA playoffs because we're getting there.
Yes, we are. We are getting there.
And I know you had but let me just say this. And as much as I don't want to talk about the Niners, but the Sacramento Kings are the number 2 seed in the NBA. The Western Conference.
In the Western Conference, the Kings.
2 seed.
Sacramento Kings can legit make a run to the Western Conference Finals.
And we give them a little bit of love. I mean, the media ain't giving it to them because of their market, and I know about that. But
give credit where credit is due. It seems like Vivek Redonde.
You brother.
Who again?
Oh,
I never doubted his desire and his want to win. Never doubted that one bit. But I think he's finally found the right guys in McNair, the GM, and Mike Brown to put it together because that culture has completely changed with that roster.
I'm just gonna say this. I've never said a team that I didn't want the Golden State Warriors to play, but stay away from the Sacramento Kings. I think they can beat anybody else.
Even though they lost the Bucks tonight,
I don't think that they can beat the Kings in a 7-game series. That will be their only kryptonite. Because Mike Brown knows every single in and out of how to handle every situation. It's like the Raiders versus the Buccaneers. Gruden knew everything. Everything. So the only way that I believe the Warriors win another title is avoiding the Kings.
Is avoiding the Kings. But could you imagine though an all Interstate 80 Western Conference final?
Oh my God.
You imagine that?
That would mean that. So you're just trying. Oh,
yes.
Is that possible? Could that be a Western Conference matchup? I believe the Kings.
Well, here's the thing: Kings are the
Warriors
two.
Before
Okay,
it gets to the Western Conference.
Warriors
right?
Warriors are the 5 seed.
Yes.
Kings are the 2 seed. So
3 versus 6.
It would 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5.
Yes.
If the 3 seed wins, they would play the 2 seed.
Yes.
And the winner of the 4-5 would play the 1 seed. So yes, it is possible.
I want that. Because you know why? I would love to shit on every Sacramento King fan I know. Oh, y'all thought y'all had it this year? Just like Boston thought they had it. I mean, I'm just gonna say every year the Warriors won a championship. It was like the Giants in the World Series. They were underdogs. I love being an underdog. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, we said that the Kings would be improved under Mike Brown.
Oh, Mike Brown, Coach of the Year.
We were not expecting number 2 seed and leaders in the Pacific Division. We were not expecting that.
I expected them to be in damn near, every game that they've been in. I expected to play how they've been playing. I didn't expect, like you said, a 2 seed. So Sacramento fans, if we got any fans that watches us, enjoy. Because
by all means, you
take this. The Kings are playing good basketball, but I tell you,
they are.
Tell you one thing, they didn't beat my Sixers.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
But I know. We thank every and each of one of you that takes the time to watch us talk for hours or even minutes.
Or at times watch us both take a nap live during the show. Thank you anyway.
Or you have dealt with us with our BS technology, with the Wi-Fi goes. You may see a video where we freeze, but you stay dedicated to us and you go through it, and we appreciate everybody for that.
Appreciate our subscribers. Of course, we appreciate his son, my nephew, that makes our page look good, and of course puts the music to the intro to the show.
Yeah.
So we thank him for that.
That was his beat, and that was Little Big Brother with the
little spiel, if you will. But we thank you for watching. This is the free agent edition of the Mizzle An Dub Show. He's Mizzle. I'm Dub.
Part 1.
Thank you for watching. Part 1, because there might be multiples this week.
Hell, it could be signings going on right now that we don't know about. But we're about to
we're
about to take a nap.
Yeah,
gotta work.
So we might be waking up to some news after our nap, and if it's some big news, we will definitely do a show and talk about it. But for now, we're gonna say, we're gonna go take a nap, as Mizzle would say. But it is 5 o'clock somewhere. But you've been watching the part 1 of the free agent edition of the Mizzle An Dub Show. He's Mizzle. I'm Dub. And for now, we say good night and happy trails to you.
And always F the Niners in the AFC West.